Hi everyone, it's me, Charles Norman, Sports Solutions LLC. We are the creators of AthleticSOS. If your kid is trying to get an athletic scholarship, you can use our software, absolutely no cost, and we'll show you all the schools that academically qualify to attend, that have their sport, and they offer an athletic scholarship opportunity, and they qualify to go there. So that's where you want to get started. Last week, I did my Christmas product of the year for youth athletes. And I told you guys it's kind of expensive. It's called the box hockey. And I gave a variety of reasons why you should get it. I just think it's the greatest gift for if you have a young kid, if you're a grandparent, excellent. The little kids will love it. Teens will love it. Young adults will love it. The parents will love it. Everybody will love playing this game. And it helps them learn how to be in an athletic position. Eye-hand coordination, fast twitch muscle fibers. It's just great. I know you guys don't play hockey necessarily. Very few people that are watching this play hockey, but I'm telling you, it is really a great product. Only problem with it was $4.99. So the person did get in contact with me. See, when I do these videos, someone must let them know. They are giving a $100 discount. I think it's only up till the 12th. What's today? Today's the 10th when I'm doing this. But go ahead and if it's not there, that deal's not there, go ahead and write them and see if he'll extend it out for our group, because he was supposed to give me that information a while ago. So at least that brings it down to $3.99. Still kind of expensive, but I think it's worth it. I think they'll be playing that forever, and you guys will get a lot of pleasure out of it. Okay, so in this one, we want to talk about the transfer portal, and then I want to talk a little bit about NIL. And I want to bring it back to what we're all about here at Sports Solutions and AthleticSOS and where we're going with this thing. I'm just getting started here. So we got a lot of stuff going on. So for the transfer portal, let's do that first. So there's a lady I kind of follow on LinkedIn. Her name is Jamesetta Cleveland is her name. So you guys go look. LinkedIn, there's a free version of it. Go ahead and use it. I do have the paid version for my business because I like to connect with people on there. But she is really good if you're a parent and you want to learn. She went through this with her son, and so she's just into it. She just knows it backwards, forwards, but she talks in a way that feels familiar, feels natural, feels friendly. And so I think you guys should pay attention to her. But a few weeks ago, she did one on the transfer portal because it was getting ready to open. So it opened on December 4th or 5th for the football players because her son played football. But some of the other sports that are around that area, the fall area, they are now ready for the transfer portal. And then one of her ones a few weeks later, she did where she showed the whole schedule for all the different sports. When can you go into the transfer portal? But that's not why I'm talking about this. So one of the things she put up there was some things to think about before you got into that transport portal. And transfer portal, I'm sorry, I keep saying transport. Transfer portal for the NCAA. And one of the things was, do they have your major at the school that you're trying to go to? You know, that's very important. How much eligibility do you have left? If you leave now and you go there, do you have enough eligibility left to play to get paid to go to that school so you can finish your degree? Now, that's a big deal. And then finally, there was one more, and I want to read it off so that I don't get it wrong. And so another one she had on there was, how many of your credits will transfer if you transfer to the new school? So all these are important things. So these are all logical things you should be asking anyway, right? So that's why she's so good at what she does. And she has a podcast. So you guys absolutely go over and look at it. You don't have to do anything to listen to her podcast. You don't have to join LinkedIn to listen to her podcast. But I think it's worthwhile if you're thinking about this. And even as a high school player, understanding once you make a decision, if you need to make a transfer, you kind of know the rules ahead of time. But what I want to talk about in this one is one of her other questions she had in here. And this is the key to what we're always talking about here. It reads as, who wants you? And then she said, and I want to quote her correctly, real talk, what is your unique athletic skill set that will keep a coach gainfully employed? And I know she meant that in the way of the kids going to another school, but this is the thing that I'm trying to tell you guys all the time. It really comes down to, if you want to be successful anywhere in life, what's your value? What is your skill set? What are you bringing to the table for that person who has to make that decision to bring you on, or to give you that break, or help you out, or take on your product or your system, or hire you, or whatever is going on? What is it you're bringing that's going to keep them and move them forward? Because that's how it all works. That is like almost the key to life for everything. What are you bringing to the table that will help the person that you need their help now, And then later on, if you need to bring somebody into what you're doing, what is it, their skill set and their value that's going to keep you moving forward in what you're doing? That is it. That's like the big conundrum for everybody. Everybody that thinks that life's not fair, things aren't going their way. I'm working really hard. I'm doing this and that. What's unique about what you do that would make somebody go, I should pay this person more, or should they just do it? Because that's not how you stay in business. And that's not how you run your sports program. And that's not how your high school coach is looking at it either. So you can transfer. And a lot of people think that I'm against kids transfer. Sometimes you get into a situation where you don't see an out. I always think there's an out, and I don't believe personally, and I tell everybody in my family this, I don't think you can make the wrong decision if you've done any kind of analysis and you've taken a look at everything, you've analyzed everything, and you've made this decision with information, you did some research, and this is the best thing for you. I say go for it. Don't ever think that you can't move. No one should ever have you stuck. I don't let anybody put me in a corner where I can't get out. I don't do business with them. I told you guys a long time ago, my grandfather always told me, don't do business with anybody that thinks they're doing you a favor. So a person shouldn't be doing a favor. You should be bringing enough value that it makes sense for them to work with you, not, oh, hey. But I also believe if you're really going to grow on something that you're trying to do, and we're going to talk about this later at the last week of the year. I'm going to talk about entrepreneurship, things I've been going through, some of the things I'm thinking about. And then the final week, I'm going to talk about 2024 and some of the things I think you can do if you want to get started and get into something. But that is like the key to this whole thing. What is your skill set? What are you working on? Where is the hole? What do you see that no one else is looking at? And I tell you guys this as high school athletes all the time. If you've gotten stuck, instead of transferring to another school, where's the opening on your team right now? Say you're a freshman or a sophomore and you're not getting enough playing time. You made varsity or you can't make varsity. You can't crack it. Something's going on. How do you get there? Yes, you can go over to this other school and maybe you'll get to play over there. But is there something where you are right now that is needed on that team and you just need to measure up to get there? Do you need to work harder? Do you need to get stronger? Do you need to learn this position instead of that position? What can you do to get playing and then go over to where you were trying to get to? There's always a path. And here's the funny thing about that. If you start thinking in those terms, as you move through life, you'll start to figure out that, hey, I had to do this thing. This is not what I came here to do, but I had to do this thing, and now I can do this and that. I can do both of these, and now I can blend them together. I'm even more valuable than I was when I got there. One of the things when I used to be a supervisor, when I was working, and people would always be complaining about somebody else not doing what they're supposed to do. How come they're doing more work? I go, if everyone was dead even and worked exactly the same, just as hard as you do, then you don't stand out. So you almost is a benefit for somebody to go, hey, this is my job title. This is what I'm supposed to do. Or this is what I've decided this means. And this is all I'm going to do. You guys do your job. I do my job. I'm not doing anything else. A whole bunch of people like that give you the opportunity to blossom, give you the opportunity to stand out. And trust me, everybody above you sees that. Now, they won't say anything. They can't always give you a raise. They can't make things stand out. But you'll start to notice when they move up, they're pulling you with them. I did a whole career like this. I never once went, hey, that's not in my job title. That's not the scope of my work. I go, hey, this is pretty cool. Let me see if I can do this too. You guys are asking me to do this. I'll try it out. Now, you don't want to get abused. I get it. But you're learning a new skill set. Probably that's not what you were hired to do. Why would you not want to take that? And then take that and go to your next thing you want to do if they're not treating you right and go, hey, I can do this and this. And I've got experience doing it. And you put that on your resume. That other person can't do that. So these are the kind of things I want you guys to think about in general. I know we're talking about sports, but just overall, I think that's a great thing. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is the NIL. And for that, there's a guy named Bill Carter that's also in there. And and I'll put their LinkedIn links down below. Now, he's the NIL king. I think he's a consultant for schools and for organizations that want to work within the NIL world. He knows it backwards and forwards. But he also gives some great information. And so one of the things he wrote about a few weeks ago was that how many of the NCAA Division II, Division III, and the lower level D1 schools don't really want to get into the world. They don't want to take their athletic program and assign somebody to work on the NIL problem, to help kids get some deals. And they don't want to do all of that because, A, it takes somebody away from whatever else they were doing, and they don't have the money to keep hiring people for all these different changes that happen out. But B, they don't want to make any mistakes and have a whole bunch of people like they gave you some information or some recommendations and it didn't go well for you, and now you're after them for something, right? They don't need that headache, to be perfectly honest with you. So the big schools, yeah, they've got a whole thing going on over there, but the smaller schools, they don't want to do anything. And so he thought, he was kind of complaining about that they should jump on this thing, this NIL thing. But the reason I'm bringing that up is because I keep telling you guys, you need to have your own social media. You need to have your own brand. And when you get to college, you take your brand with you. So if they do have something on the campus when you get picked up, that's great. You can do that too, but you got your own thing too. So, right? So maybe you go with them, but maybe you stay where you are and just do your thing and bring yourself along and get your own deals, and you learn how to do that. And that is the way I believe you don't get yourself cornered by someone. Because one of the things that he brought up was for the people that are transferring, hey, when you sign that deal for your NIL deals, sometimes you're signing with these groups. They're not attached to the school, but they're close to the school. It's not a consortium. They call it something else. But whatever it is, you sign with them, and they are, the school, they're with the school, but they're not with the school. It's kind of like your boosters. And so they get these deals for all the players that are doing NIL. Now, I thought that was interesting because I said, who's transferring if they got a great NIL deal? And if they're good enough to get the NIL deal, they must be playing, because otherwise you wouldn't get an NIL deal. But neither here nor there, because there are some really great players that are transferring because they went to a school that they actually are bigger than, that they actually blossomed once they got to that school, and they want to go to the next school. Some offers are coming up, some openings are coming up. An assistant coach left your school and went to another school, and you want to go with them. You guys did a wink and a nod, and you want to move and go with them. All of that stuff is possible. So the big question is, you got to be really careful when you sign on to those NIL deals to ensure that you don't get caught where you can't make the move, or you have to pay the money back that you got, or this deal, you can't sign another NIL deal with your new school. So be really, really careful there. So I'm going to keep this one short. I didn't want to overdo it here, but those are a couple of things that you want to think about for the transfer. But what you really want, and my real lesson for this one is, stay in control of your own life and your own future. Do your own things, right? If you need to transfer, and you shouldn't have to transfer if you use our software, which costs you nothing. Please use AthleticSOS. It will tell you all the schools. You reach out to them, let them know that you're